Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Hey, we got another excellent cast today for the Spy Party Competitive League. I am your host, Kletos. With me are two excellent casters, Flappy Davis
Hello, hello.
and Yeesh.
How's it going?
And we got only two sets today, but these are uh, these are the we're using the finals format for these. These are both challenger tournament games. So they are longer sets potentially, and we'll have a lot to talk about anyway. So I'm sure it'll run fairly long.
Yeah, no, they're going to be they're and the thing is they are substantially longer, I would say, in a way
Yeah,
where fatigue actually becomes a real issue. Even so, if you're playing a normal SCL, and it did get bumped up to 12 games this year, but 16 games is actually kind of a long time to maintain a competitive mindset,
yeah,
especially if you start falling behind. And there can actually be swings. It's long enough to allow swings in the games where it's like, if you go into like a really positive run of like 3 or 4 games in the normal SCL format, that's a huge chunk of your games. Where
yeah,
in this one, it's 8. You're able to do a nice 3 or 4 game run, and if you don't maintain that positive momentum, it can easily swing back in the other
yeah,
direction.
definitely.
Yeah, we have some challenges here too, so maybe they're not as experienced as our diamond or platinum players who are used to those longer sets. So this is going to be their really first real test with big sets.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, and one thing that's been kind of interesting also. We are in. I guess we're technically. Are we in the third week, or this is the end of the second week still? I think for them. Yeah, I think it's still the end of the second week, but we've had some interesting matches where a lot of uh, players have been like lower seed technically, but it's mainly been because they started late, so they may be actually way better than their seed indicates, which is causing some potentially some upsets. But we'll
Yeah, and
see.
this will be.
Let's get into the first match here.
Hmm.
We'll see. We got
And
yeah,
we have the
Portal
picks
Freak.
and bans for this.
Yep, yeah, I got them somewhere here. There we are. Okay, so yep, I got picks and bans. First one is gonna be gonna do Portal Freak versus Watermeat. Oh, here, let me find this stuff. Oh wait, okay, there we go. Challenger. Oh, I'm still there. We go. I'm all good. All right, so now picks and bans. I got them here, and now there's um as we mentioned, it's a longer set. So instead of two maps picked, it's three maps each. First ban came from Portal Freak. It was pub. Probably, I'm not sure if that was a targeted ban or not. Maybe it was just they don't like pub, which is certainly understandable. That was
It's
my
a very
stand.
different map, and so it might just be a. I mean, I'm not the most comfortable on that map, so it probably just a. I would guess at this point, in this long of a set, I would rather just not play on a map that's really
Yeah.
uncomfortable with me rather than target the other bands. But different players will have different strategies.
Yep. I would agree. Yeah. Just for a while, banning pub was just my standard thing. It's not that I particularly hated the map. It's just I'd rather not see it,
Hmm.
especially when we had pub 3 of 5. All right. Anyway, the other band, kind of more interesting band from Watermeat is Ballroom. Not,
Interesting.
yeah, not too. Yeah, Ballroom doesn't get banned too often. It's just it's one of those maps where you know, seems like most people are pretty neutral, at least neutral on it. But I guess there's a few who are weak to it. I mean, there are it is there's a lot of characters, a lot of cover. So if you're potentially you know get bogged down easily.
Yeah, one of the more spy-sided maps, I would say.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
maybe Watermeat feeling more confident playing more. sniper favored
Yeah.
maps, wanting to maintain that advantage.
Hmm. Yeah.
And you're right though that the ban on ballroom and pub like ballroom definitely a standard map and pub a more like I would say middle of the pack kind of standard map, at least compared to things like terrace or
Yeah.
high rise. There's going to be 3 picks by each side, so we're going to get kind of deep into the map pool. So
Yeah.
the bans here, where sometimes I'll ban a map, even though I'd actually even I don't care, I don't strongly care as much as not playing on like terrace, for example. But I trust my opponent isn't going to pick a
Yeah.
map that I consider odd, like terrace or perhaps high rise. But we're going to be forced into a situation of getting into some of those little less standard maps.
Yeah. That's for sure. Okay. So the first pick. Ooh, exciting one. We get double balcony today.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is that is. I mean, well, some people just like balcony. That's the
I'm
thing.
very curious to see how these challenges will play on it
Yeah,
compared
yeah,
to like you've seen it a lot in Diamond, for example,
yep,
versus Crazy Kaylee.
yep,
But I'm curious how these matches will go because I wonder how the challengers take on ball
yeah,
balcony
for
is
sure.
compared to somebody like Kaylee.
Yep. All
And the
right, and
thing
then
about balcony, sorry, real quick,
yep,
it is pretty comfortable as spy. I would say, where you can play a pretty normal game of balcony without putting a ton of thought into it, and still have a relatively okay chance of winning. So as far as like setting your nerves, perhaps that's a pretty good map to start on a spy. Whereas you're gonna need to calm down and stuff like that. Just get your flirts down, contact. You don't have to put that much thought into it, and you kind of ease into the
yep.
competitiveness of the rest of the season or series. Sorry.
All right. Anyway, and the first pick from Watermeat will be Modern. Don't see doubled Modern that often.
That's gonna be such whiplash too, like
Yeah.
going from balcony to modern. That's great. That's gonna be fantastic. Be able to
Oh
see how
man,
these
and we'll
carry
see.
back on
It looks
both
like we're gonna
different.
see a pattern with Watermeat in his next picks, but looks like we're gonna be in for a long cast. But anyway, the next pick, the second pick from Portalfreek is Gallery, which is
That's not too much whiplash compared to Modern. Still a lot of activity going on
yeah,
there, but
it's
not
yeah,
as much swinging around.
yeah, but
More just
it's still a very big map. Deceptively at least. It's a map that can cause some spies trouble.
It's a map that you're in transit a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
it's physically it's not huge, but
Yeah,
the the
space wise, it's probably it's smaller than ballroom probably.
Mhm.
Or very least,
and
it's squished out. It's a stretched ballroom essentially.
right, but you just spend so much time walking on that
Yeah,
map that you can't stick around in any one spot as much as you'd like to.
yeah. All right, and then the next pick from Watermeat, we'll get another 5 of 8 map with Veranda.
Very interesting. And so laser movement's gonna be that one. Laser movement's a little bit more important than it is
Yep.
on gallery, obviously. But there'll be like actually like some blind spot, hopefully sort of shenanigans. And I'm also curious where how comfortable the spies will be in doing things in the blind spots. This is also different from gallery in that there basically is no blind spot on gallery unless it's
Yeah.
from the sniper's perspective. Like you can block out with characters, but sniper laser placement doesn't matter very much on gallery. Where veranda it matters a lot more. So I
Yep.
am curious about how that's going to play out.
Yeah. Anyway, and then the final pick, Porter Freak. Not a much of a surprise for a pick is Courtyard.
Nice standard map,
Yep.
very solid.
And then the last pick out of Watermeat to round out the 5 of 8 pattern is Library. So yes, so
Yeah,
I just think Watermeat likes 5 of 8 maps.
yeah,
yeah.
that's
I
no.
was just about to say it's very interesting that we start with like the small map balcony, but then we don't play any 3-5. We're just going straight into 5-8. Just
Yep.
run around, get missions done. Have to get a hardtail in there somewhere. So we'll definitely see some exciting matches.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, after I had my little thing about how we were gonna be forced into weird maps, it just turns out they all like the standard maps anyways, and they pick them all. We didn't take the high rise, we didn't take terrace.
Yep. All right. Well, anyway, we'll get into the first map here. We got Watermeat starting off as the spy first. Ooh, and as one of our favorite spies.
Very nice. We also need to remember, or at least, sorry, I need to remember. Sometimes in Challenger they don't use the classic balcony, which has like been hard coded into my brain. This
Yeah,
one
yeah,
is
that's
this one
it's
is classic balcony, but gotta
yeah,
remember to check that every map.
yeah, and I mean that was a Kaylee thing for a while too to do. I believe he did fingerprint instead of bug for a while
Hmm.
because he just because he wanted a mission that AIs could potentially finish. All right.
Yeah, and
Anyway,
that
let's get into it here. Ready to go? I believe I'm in caster mode and all of that. All right. Awesome. Both ready?
yep.
Yep.
All right. Here we go. In three, two, one. Playing it.
My
And I
guess is that we'll start with probably a standard game, is my guess here, but we'll see. You'll start with the early flirt, get highlight for it. Let's
great
see what
early flirt.
happens.
And as Kletos was mentioning about the evolution of balcony a little bit, there was a while where Kaylee did experiment with things like fingerprint. And a few other
Banana bread.
spires did as well. Oh, get the banana bread off, and great banana bread. Only ambassador to that conversation. But the experimentation didn't last as long when we went over to new art balcony, because bug is just so strong on the new art that you can get away with it more often. So I think even Kaylee rolls with bug on the new art balcony.
Yeah, the big thing is reverse bugs. Reverse bugs on old art were pretty bad and very easy to see, but now some characters have amazing reverse bugs, like Irish. Orange dresses isn't half bad either. So, but it looks
Really?
like here we only need one flirt. We actually our flirt down cooldown expired and we still bailed. Very interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm guessing that Watermeat, he does go back to the same position in the conversation, which is interesting. I think it is close. I can't quite see the circle well enough. Oh, but I can I can change it myself. It looks like it is close enough to get there if we get the green, but we don't.
Yeah, I think we would have had like 49%, which would have been just enough, I think. But
But
now we're stuck into a situation where we might have to bail and come back in or hope our ST leaves because otherwise we're going to be running for time. Yeah, we do leave. This is going to be cutting it really close. But we've had a white BB, 3 talks. This is your standard balcony game. Do you shoot?
oh no! Oh wait. Okay. At first, it looks like seduction target was going to leave maybe for briefcase. Looks like we are the overtime shot.
Oh, look.
And
Oh,
we
so
try to
close. We
dance.
tried.
Uh,
That was a valiant
Uh,
effort.
it's
Unfortunately,
it's it's
orange dress.
unfortunate. There's the bit of laser lag makes dancing can make dancing kind of challenging, especially from a spot like that.
Not only that, but that was an absurdly short party overall.
Yeah.
Uh, just look at like the people. Orange Sari it looks like was either the tallest or tied for the tallest with about white dress and Irish, and there's just no cover. And also, I mean, what is Orange Dress gonna like book it to the other side of the
Yeah.
conversation
Yeah.
circle?
There's
She doesn't
yeah.
move
Orange
quick.
dress, unfortunately, among the slowest characters. All right. Well, that's that's point for Portalfreek. All right. Anyway, he's ahead in his map so far. Let's see if he's got any sort of secret spy strats. Three, two, one, playing it.
I think this was a Portal Freaks pick, right?
Yep.
So we'll see what he has in mind.
Yeah, and I'm still interested in that in the decision not to go for the timer flirt. Now that might have been a good decision if Watermeat had any sort of indication that Portal Freak shoots for like the correctly spaced out timer flirts, like they just have a sense for when those
Banana
shots
bread.
are. But I'm not sure how much of a specialist Portal Freak would be to be able to catch those kind of things.
That was very interesting there. He went for the sip BB. He was trying to get Lolit for sipping during a BB. So I think that was a really interesting play. Unfortunately, not everyone was in conversation there, but I still like the attempt. I don't think it was noticed though. Ooh, and the shot looks like Watermeat afraid of the two flirt potential with Disney there. So
Yeah.
eats a
No.
bullet.
just right on top of that. And so it looks like so this actually the previous game where we saw
Banana bread.
the nervousness about flirt timer actually might not have been anticipation on Watermeat's side, but knowing that Watermeat plays that map looking for those kind of things, because he was correct about when the timer flirt was about to begin.
All right. Well, that ties it
Banana
up then.
bread.
I'm curious. We have 2 more maps to go. I wonder if either of the opponents will try to mind game by like either talking more frequently when they know flirt timer's not a thing, since they know they're looking for it now. So I'm curious how the mind games will play out.
All right. Anyway, on to the next one. Ready to go in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
All right, start out with Irish. We might be able to force our way into this conversation. I think we're going to get double paired a little bit. Okay, well, DA leaves, so we can just start with our flirt. And actually, that's kind of an important thing on balcony. Is sometimes it is cramming yourself into those really small parts of the conversation circle. Make it look like you are flirting with 2 different people, and that usually wouldn't be that bad on a larger map. But if you don't remember the other person you crammed yourself next to, you might accidentally appear like you're flirting with someone else, even if you try to go far away from your seduction target later. But we don't get any flirt off on that because our seduction target leaves.
Banana bread.
Interesting again that we decided to BB, but there were 2 people out. Thankfully, White got in, but she's Lilith. Very interesting that we do not want to delay the BB. I usually on balcony you want to wait for the entire conversation to fill up before you even consider BB. And earlier our ST bailed on us, so this is going to be tough. Looks like we're going to be stuck into a bug situation here, because we're not going to be able, unless we really rush flirt. But that looks rather risky here.
Yeah, based upon sort of the unluckiness of where the seduction. Oh, and we just take a shot. I'm curious if that was for anything except for just running out of suspects, or did we clip a little bit? Doesn't look like it. Did we break animation?
Yeah, I don't know what.
I know that.
No, it was good. It was no animation break there. Maybe hallucinated animation break, but it was good.
And I would assume from my understanding, Watermeat knows a decent amount about etiquette, and so they would be pretty conscious about not breaking animation altogether. But it might just be that Watermeat did enough that.
Yeah,
See,
maybe.
how long had it been since they talked? Yeah, no, I guess it was just confidence, and I mean, to be fair, Portal was right.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so far we got a sniper party going, and can Portalfreek break that? Let's find out. Trying to clear timer. I don't know if that makes sense to me, but anyway. All right. Anyway, here we go. And 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
He means a seduction timer. So it
Yeah.
looked like you were like, there's not that much room to go on balcony. So it looked like
Yeah.
it was a flirt and then going to the farthest possible point on balcony, which is one of the corners, right? And so that you'd be able to go out and rush back in.
Yeah, but the seduction target was already out, so that wouldn't have been
Ooh,
necessary.
Right,
we
but
had a
from
waiter give up there too.
Yeah.
yeah, but from Portalfreek's perspective, he doesn't know who the seduction target is.
Yeah.
So it could have been like that there was someone else there. So it was not consciously Watermeat actually doing that, but I could see where we already have suspicion on someone that looks like they might be trying to reset this ST and then go back in.
Ooh, we take a drink and then instantly sip. It's not a thing anymore. I don't think it was noticed though, so got away with that.
All right, well, this is a big moment. It does look like the laser's hovering right near us. All right, well, once we get the double agent off, it's going to be a big question about whether or not we are the most suspicious or not. I do like the fact that we're mixing in a late double agent in this one when it's actually the final mission that we'll be doing, not a double agent into flirt.
This is going to be tough though. For the sniper, both Morgan and Seek have had the same number of talks at the same amount of times. So right now, they're probably both identical in the sniper's mind.
Also, they're like the same height, and they kind of look like they are merged body.
Banana bread.
And there you go. And the white test does it. I mean, if you have a 50-50, one person's talking, one's not.
Fortunately, it was a fake as well.
Correct. Although at that point, in the game, you should probably fake regardless, just to try to force a shot. Unfortunately, forcing a shot on ourselves.
Yeah,
But
or just bug.
it's true. That's not a bad point.
Yeah, neither of them attempted to bug, which was kind of interesting. It felt like, at least the last game, that would have been a better option than trying to finish flirts. Wasn't going so well.
I totally agree with what you're saying actually. And I'm just gonna put this to get out there as a more general strategy. If you're having trouble finding the flirts, just ditch talking altogether. Try to earn a low light by completely not committing to flirt at all. Sometimes you'll just get a low light, and then that makes the bug easier, and then you can get a bug and contact. So sometimes you can kind of leverage the possible unfortunate situation you might have in balcony of not getting any seductions into a higher percentage play than trying to rush your flirts in right near the end.
Yep. All right. Anyway, that was 4 sniper wins so far. So.
And 4 sniper wins on a map that a lot of people would consider difficult for challenger and non SCL.
Yeah, and sniping, and just sniping in general.
Exactly. So they clearly had a lot of experience on this, and they played the snipers were playing those really well. And I don't think the spies did poorly either. I do think that both spies played that very standard and very safe, which is a great way to kind of set the pace, perhaps. You don't want to make a big mistake and be really focused on that the rest of the match. But I also think you should try to throw something in maybe a little bit more risky in there every once in a while, just to throw them off.
Yeah, we did see a shot come off at like 110, just for a BB there, and a second flirt, like close. I would have maybe liked to see no, like maybe delayed BB at like 45 seconds with no talking, and then get low lit. Go for that strategy. That's one of my preferred ways to play balcony, especially against somebody that is a consistent low lighter.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, well, they'll have a few more missions to deal with here, so we'll see if they have any, if there's any better strategies for these big maps. Watermeat picked it, so may have
I also, again, I'm really into the SpyParty astrology thing right now, and we are in an interesting position where we're kind of torn between the double agent and the suspected double agent. I'm trying to figure out what it means. We're just directly in between the two of them.
We'll see. We'll see what happens with this in 3, 2, 1, planet.
I think this is going to be a tough adjustment for Portalfreek. He's just been thinking about seducing and talking, and now the mindset has to completely change. So I wonder how he'll be able to adapt. Watermeat just has to worry about getting missions done. Portalfreek has to adapt to now, instead of just 2 missions, you get to watch 8.
And I think that's very true. And I don't know how much these players have played casually. I think they played a pretty decent amount. I think I recall they're being just about a little bit over 1,000 games each, which used to be an insane amount to play in the amount of time they've been here. But it's actually among the less crazy amounts of games, but it's still a ton of games to put into SpyParty and what. I think both of the is Portalfreek near Steam Early Access, or has it been around a little bit longer?
He's close. I think he joined a few months before Steam Early Access.
Gotcha.
Maybe he was one of the people that bought the game before the price bump.
Gotcha. So at least 2018, and so about halfway into 2018, 1,000 games in 7 months is still quite a lot. Now it's weird because that used to be a totally crazy amount of games to play, but now it's kind of like there's just a class of people that came up together that started playing a lot. And so the general point I'm trying to make is if you play casual sets, you tend to stick in maps longer than just 4 games. And so then you're right where I want to see how good Watermeat and Portalfreek are. at switching up mindsets when they switch between matches, because they're going to be doing that a lot, especially if they go the full 16, where you do 4 maps, 2 games each. Going back and forth those is a real skill.
Yeah, it looks like we have a pretty early game plan from Watermeat that he's going to want to do prints. He went for the bar print earlier. Unfortunately, the Amba had personal space invaded before she could take a drink, and then he went for a difficult fingerprint, did not get it. But that's a pretty clear indication of what the plan is going to be during this match.
And we have pretty decent progress on. I'd say we're right on track. That's not great. Now we're going to be a little bit behind. And we do start talking when maybe we should just try to bail pretty quickly. But we have the bug done, which is a nice big deal. But we only halfway done with the transfer, and we're less than halfway done with seduce, and we only have 1:20 left.
Yeah, I think I kind of like going for the books here. I would have preferred maybe delegating and then going to the books, like delegate without taking a drink. Go to the books, get microfilm done, and then maybe you can go back in your conversation, seduce and purloin at the same time there. I feel like
Yeah,
microfilm's a little too slow here, especially since he's taking it out right now, not going to return it.
yeah. I do think that, okay, he does need to probably get a flirt done while he's doing this, so that at least he's doing something when he's going back. But still, we have the problem of, let's say we get flirt progress done on this, we transfer the microfilm when we go back. That's still 2.5 missions left after we're done with the microfilm in 44 seconds.
I mean, DA is in conversation, so maybe we head over there, snag the BB, put it. Oh, this is gonna be really tough. And now time heads off the table too, since the beeps are going to start real soon.
Banana bread.
All right, well, pretty decent green though. But we don't have time for anything. Okay, and we are being watched.
Yep, that was noticed, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, the print early game did not work out, so he just kind of caught behind. I don't mind the idea of going for prints on this map, though. It's really difficult to track. There's a lot of places the ambassador can go to get to print.
Yep.
But maybe instead of just going to the books, getting that delegate first would have freed up some more opportunities for him.
Yep, I'd say maybe that bookshelf is one of the worst shelves to do action test transfer on, just because it's the arm is just so visible.
Yeah, agreed. I think it's the worst in the game.
You,
But
you know,
I mean, having 3 is there. Having 3 on the map is a bit of a boon to the spy in general. But
yeah,
I'd actually kind of like it if that window was over a little bit, and so it provided a little bit more occlusion, or
Yeah.
if that window was more like the what is it, the high rise window somewhere in between, where there's a bit of a mesh that kind of covers it, but if you look closely through it, you can see it. Because otherwise, you're right. Until we get dossiers and possibly books in the other hand, it's really hard. Because he got a green on that, by the way.
Yeah.
And he still got caught
yeah,
because
it was
it's
still
such a
super
horrible angle.
visible.
Mhm.
Yep. And one thing that seems to be not done by a lot of I don't know, not just newer players, but a lot of players in general is doing the action test somewhere else, doing the film transfer, at a different pad,
I
or
agree.
even off the pad completely. The I guess you'd call it KCM style.
Yeah, and I thought he was going to do that when he took it out
Yeah,
to go flirt, because that actually was a good chance. Although still, we were going to be kind of low on time.
yeah,
I totally agree with what Yishu was saying about the getting a delegate and not picking up a drink. Obviously, it's a little odd seeming, but AI do it. And afterwards, you have the ability to do the pseudo time ad
Yep.
of a delegate, even if you don't intend to actually finish the delegate, like it's not going to get there in time, but you can buy yourself a little bit of time. The real unfortunate part was DA leaving.
yep,
That
yep.
completely threw a wrench in our
Yeah.
game
That
plan when DA
that
bailed.
that slowed him down quite a bit. Yeah. All right. Anyway, our sniper party continues. We'll see if Portalfreek can break that here in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I also want to say the SpyParty horoscope was totally accurate in that we had our back to the actual DA. We're split between the DA and the SDA, and then we had bad luck with the DA. It's starting to all come together. Ooh, he zooms in right after that microfilm. I thought it was pretty hard to see, but it looks like we actually might have picked up suspicion for it.
Yeah, not too many people at the bar. So usually, what I've found with players on Modern is that either their attention is focused on the bar or the books. So not too many people at the bar means you're gonna be watching those three people at books there.
Whoa,
I
there
think
are
we got
so
some
many
trolling going on
lowlights.
here.
Okay, really? I don't know.
Trolling everybody else.
Okay, so trolling as in like he saw it and now he's just low-lighting everybody else before shot? I don't know, because he's still keeping some people lit. This is really
Not anymore.
fascinating to me.
Everybody's low lit. Except,
Smallman.
yeah,
Smallman.
Smallman. Well,
But
nobody
it might
sees
just because we
Smallman,
didn't
though.
see him. Yeah. Right. Even if you're doing a trolling strategy, you can't low-light Smallman because he might do something, you know? There's
Yeah.
always that liability.
Maybe just wants to instill some fear for his shot. Like once he chases this flirt and talks immediately, might just shoot him for it. But I mean, we've already demonstrated that. Hey, I know who you are. Just maybe trying to, uh, like I guess, intimidate him for the next few games. I feel
Yeah,
like in SEL this has been done a little bit, but not too much.
it's true, and also, and also, it might not be an intimidation thing as much as it is. He's actually up there, and he does low light Smallman. Okay, so I think you guys are right. I'm not sure if it's going to be a trolling thing as much as it is by low lighting the entire party and highlighting just Portalfreek. He gets to observe Portalfreek's movement, so now he's
Banana
gaining
bread.
intel on how he moves through the party for the next game.
But then he takes the shot. I don't know.
Uh,
Like,
you don't want to take a risk at that point, you know.
Yep.
I guess, but I mean, it is 5 of 8. Like, I guess if you want to do that, then you should just like wait the whole time. I don't know.
Right.
Seems a little inconsistent.
Yep. All right. Anyway, that was a match. We'll see. We'll see if Portalfreek can return the favor.
And what's the are we still all
Yeah, we're still
snipers?
in the sniper party right now. Still.
Okay.
So it's yeah, that was the second match. So it's still 3-3. Or yep.
Yeah, and that was all. I guess the head turn on the white, which is pretty impressive
Yeah.
on Watermeat's side because
There was some
that's
cover.
during
Yeah.
time of chaos and like well usually snipers are pretty focused on who's at the bar,
Yeah.
who's at statues,
Yeah, we're
where's
the
Amba,
ambassador.
like
Yeah.
that's exactly, and they caught something that a lot of snipers wouldn't assume a spy would kind of rush,
Yep.
which is doing the manual action on microfilm. So great job.
Yep. All right.
Yeah,
We'll see if Portalfreek has any sort of counter trolling here in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
All right, starting with the drink in hand, and we're going directly back to where we saw Portalfreek take out the microphone before. Maybe it's our lucky spot.
I feel like
We do.
I feel like this is like the same situation. Nobody's at the bar, nobody's at the statues. I think people are going to be watched at the books a lot.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
He gets a
it's a
highlight for
highlight.
it, and I'm wondering if. So I thought that was actually going to be pretty good. Although I think he might have done the actions in the wrong order now that I think about it, because he had a drink in his hand, and he actually made the best of it by going to bookcase. But what he needed to do was sip, and then what, I'm trying to remember the order. So
Well, he just
get
needed.
his
I think.
hands
Well, I mean, technically, he needed to sip more quickly.
right,
Like they sip
and
right
so
away.
right. So the delay on the sip was the part that kind of messed him up. So he needed to sip, then flirt, take book, and then that would have been the order of operations, as it were, to try to avoid the obvious "oh, I'm flirting here" delay on the bookcase, right?
That's a really nice catch by Portalfreek to really spot that. Usually, it takes a lot of experience to be able to tell when it's too long. Sometimes there's not really any specific time frame for flirting before picking up a statue or a book, but
All right,
that was
big
a
moment here.
very nice catch.
Yeah, we're done. Yeah, and not only that, like that is going to be really intimidating because from Watermeat's perspective, it's he barely did anything, right? Although I will say that going for the flirt there, it does make it look a little bit more obvious when you haven't done the sip yet. You're just standing there with the drink in your hand. But again, who's looking over there? And the answer is both of those players in back-to-back games.
So the question
crazy.
is, will Portalfreek even touch a green book in this match? In this particular game here.
I feel like both players are going to be scared to touch books ever again after
Yeah.
what just happened. Honestly, that was very nice from both of them.
I'm already really excited for this match because so far they've just felt really appropriately They're really appropriately matched in their skill level. Like
Yeah.
not only are they appropriate skill level, they play kind of not similarly, but they kind of catch the same sort of
Yep.
odd things.
And they are relatively close in the seedings. They were, I think it was 30 and 35. So
yeah, they're close in the seedings. They're close in the number of games they've played. I wonder if they've played together, perhaps. I mean, a lot of the Steam Early Access players and the players that came in right before the price bump have probably played each other a lot, especially if they played, a few thousand games.
All right, anyway, on to the last game at Modern. We'll see if Portalfreek can finally pull off a spy win here. Just don't touch the green book, please.
Right.
In 3, 2, 1, planet.
And a pretty neutral horoscope. This is going to be mostly in Portalfreek's. Portalfreek is going to be. Oh wait, are we going for the green book case? No, but we are going for the spy corner, as I'm just going to call it for the rest of this series. And we get a highlight.
It's going to make Modern tough, especially since we do need hardtails, but we'll have to see how this goes. I wonder, we just swung around all the way around a sniper. I wonder if he suspects Portalfreek for the swap.
It might have been that Portalfreek didn't get a good angle on the statue before he picked it up, but honestly, teal shouldn't be that hard to see around. But you're right, he's swinging all the way around just to make sure they're swapped, which is interesting because it's not like Watermeat needed to see a swap animation. If the statue got swapped, it was guaranteed white swap. It wasn't like green swap, white swap, ambiguity thing. All right, we pick up a nice. Oh, we don't pick up a flirt.
This happened both games too. We missed out on a flirt because we got to the windows too late. I do like the risk going for that though, because we were falling a little bit behind 3 minutes, and flirt is quite tricky on this map, so
Banana bread.
don't mind that decision. And the BB comes off. It's actually not bad at all. This is really good. But
Yeah.
all 3 SDAs are in, so that was a really nice BB.
No, that was a fantastic BB. It is unfortunate that we have a highlight because I would normally say at this point would be a great idea to just add time. And I know that a lot of spies don't like adding time before they need to, but on Modern, right, so far, time has been a big issue for, I mean, on one of them it didn't really matter because we were highlight from the very beginning, and I think it was Portalfreek was just watching to see where we went. But adding time would be fantastic around this point because you can just assume that time is going to be an issue, and even if you don't need the time, it gives you more flexibility to be a little more idle. Now, we having a highlight, that's going to make it a little more difficult, so I guess we're just going to finish up in specs.
Yeah, I don't really like this decision too much, especially since it's just a kind of a big time waster. I would like to like split up our seduce in between this, but I don't mind it. It's mission completion. I think with our current situation, I would like to see an inspect swap, just because we have no other mission progress anywhere else. So we either go to the bar and try to pearl in while highlight, or we try to do microfilm. It's like we're in a tough spot here.
Yeah, and we're at 47%. Going for the flirt here, we might as well have stood close enough to get a 50 or a 51, because we are running low on time, and so we might as well try to go for the 2 flirt. And so now we have at least 2 flirts left, and 2 other missions. And it looks like we're going for microfilm, which so far has been a bad idea for both players. I think every time we've tried microfilm, both of these players have died.
We do a stop reading animation
Yeah.
at the books, which is not correct, but I doubt they get seen. No one's really looking for that.
But what do we? But is this a thing?
It is not a thing. I mean, he really wanted that flirt, I guess. Maybe he forgot that you can't, Can't go there like that.
Interesting. So Portalfreek must know that you can't go there. So he must have been like, all right, I'm in a weird spot, and maybe I can try to confuse Watermeat on this one. And I recognize that I need to get a flirt done, so I don't care if you shoot me for this because I was just gonna get timed out anyways. But it was a very strange choice.
I think, yeah, don't mind the risk too much actually, just because we were so far behind. I would have rather gotten closer to like stood on the right side of the pad, and then just try to get out of there as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, Portalfreek couldn't really help this, but it would have been probably more effective if there was more people, more activity at the bar. It was just those two. You're just like why aren't you requesting a drink? Why are you holding a book?
Interesting that the book did protect him immediately. You could not shoot through the book. He
Yeah,
was trying to.
the book is SpyParty's pan, I guess. If Spy Party was a battle royale game.
All right. Well,
All right. Anyway,
guess we
we're
move
on
on.
to gallery now. We're still at all sniper wins.
And so we just came from a map where time management's a big deal. We're going into another map where time management's a big deal. Now, so even though that map was any 5 of 8 and this map is any 4 of 8, this map has at least as much transit time and has 30 seconds less. A lot of people forget that this map is huge, and it's one of the huge maps that's not played any 5 of 8, and it starts with 30 seconds less than most of those maps that we talk about. I think all of the 5 of 8 maps, I want to say, are 4 minutes, except this one. Or sorry, all
Yeah.
the 5 of 8 maps are 4 minutes, but this one is a large map where you walk around a lot. So you trade that extra mission for basically 30 seconds of time. And on this map, it really, really matters.
Yep. We'll see if either of them have trouble managing their time here. Let's go in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Early bug? This looks really good. No, we don't take it. It looked like they were about to go for one of those bugs where we walk with the ambassador, but not risking it.
It would have been pretty decent with Alice as well, because you could start behind the ambassador, bury the arm in, and then you would come out the other side, right? Pretty decent conversation. We could try to fake here, but looks like there's enough people up there. One thing that I do think about gallery is there's not enough attempts at frame on gallery, considering how much time there is, and there being not a lot of time on spy side also means there's not a lot of time on sniper side, and the any 4 of 8 creates ambiguity in who could be done. So sometimes it's nice just to throw a BB in there and really go for a hard frame on someone.
Looks like Portalfreek is paying a lot of attention to books, with marking them especially. So this is going to be difficult for Watermeat to get away with, I think. And yeah,
Yep.
just
Yeah,
at the start of
especially
that
if you
game,
do
you
that.
can just tell. Yeah, the sniper's just like, at the start of the game, he swings to the far right, and looks like he's just trying to mark those books and just keep an eye on making sure that
Yeah.
nobody's getting that microphone done. Like about 310.
It's
Really
interesting
tough.
that Watermeat keeps going for transfer, despite the fact that he's getting shot for it every time.
Yeah, so I can see a little bit of the reasoning for why he did that. So Portalfreek had just marked his book. It was very clear that the book had been marked.
Yeah.
And then the laser went up. And so from Watermeat's perspective, that's a pretty good indication that, okay, I've marked this book. Don't even think about it, because there's kind of like the who would microfilm in the very front kind of a thing, while you zoom in on the back. And so Watermeat was going all in on Portal being zoomed in, and he had already written him off in his head for not a book.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would just not gone for microfilm. If if I'm playing against someone, I find I keep getting shot for a particular mission, I just sort of avoid that mission and do something different.
Well,
generally.
the thing in transfer, and I definitely I don't want to say this about the players necessarily, but at least in my experience, microfilm is often a half measure on the spy's part. And what I mean by that is it's a mission you can kind of tepidly commit to. It's not like a swap or a purloin, which, by the way, I don't think we've seen a single swap or purloin yet this match,
Yeah, we have
unless I'm
not.
mistaken. So maybe I, I think we've seen a bug as about one of the only
Yeah, we
like
did see a bug
we saw one bug
on
and
the way
honestly,
to
bug's
a
great.
book to transfer it.
And so sometimes, especially in competitive matches, it's really hard to force yourself to do those really obvious tells. And so you do the other things, right? You do things like inspect, flirt, contact, and microfilm, which to me, again, when I'm saying that half measure thing is you don't have to, you kind of do this like partial commitment
Yeah, you're gonna
thing
just
where
sort of
you can
grab
kind
a
of take the
book.
book.
Feel like
Right, exactly. And you're like, okay, I'll do this later. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I often will do that in competitive things where if I'm just I'm trying to trick myself into thinking that I'm getting stuff done, but I really kind of just don't want to get shot. Because again, we play with the fear of getting shot all the time. That you don't actually do the things you need to do to win the game. But also, Sniper's been playing great. I don't want to put this all on the
yeah,
spy.
yeah.
The Sniper's been
That's for sure.
fantastic.
We'll see if Portalfreek has any luck. He's Smallman. That's step one for winning on gallery as spy. Pick Smallman. We'll see if that works out in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, I mean, Smallman is really strong. For me personally, I just like to highlight him at the start and then figure out if he's the spy at 1 minute 30. Like, is he doing spy things at that time? And if he is, keep him a highlight. If he's not, low light him. But I played a match the other day where somebody contacted and seduced and just stood in the back, bugged and purloined, and then just danced. And I literally could not shoot him. So it was like the best Smallman strat I've ever seen. It was very frustrating though.
Please don't say that to Kletos. Don't be a bad influence and push him further into the small man
No,
gallery
it's okay.
shenanigans.
I have an even dirtier strat prepared.
All right, so this is actually a pretty decent time to contact if we want to.
Banana bread.
Yeah, this is not bad at all for gallery. Both double agents are in conversation, really full conversation in the back. So I actually think that the front conversation is not suspicious. We do pick up a highlight, and it could be we're in conversation with the DA highlight, but it could also be oh shit, there's small men, I better highlight them.
Yeah, we got pretty lucky there. Honestly, being in the front can be very risky if the SDA is out. Oh,
That was
so
seen.
yeah, that was seen. And so the unfortunate part about that, in my mind, was the path we took. So if Watermeat was zoomed out, or sorry, zoomed in on the back, we would get away with it. Then that's fine. But the path that we took up to the ambassador, if we weren't zoomed out, we'd be like, whoa, that's kind of an odd path to be taking. Also, we're highlighting and it goes through the low light
Yep.
of ambassador. And also, I think that we should be picking cast a little bit. That was also really easy to see because we picked a super thin member, or we probably didn't pick. We randomed a really really thin member of the cast to do that in, and it's that arm sticks all the way through his little twig legs, and it's really obvious.
I will say it was somewhat unfortunate timing because Watermeat was zoomed in up until the moment that the bug started.
That's true.
So it was just it's always a risk to do that. I would say if you're small men, you're better off doing bugs in the back. They're basically free. But Yomi and all that. Either way, Sniper Party continues. We're moving on to the next 5 of 8 map, which is Veranda. Ooh, we got Blink Twin yet again. This is. I don't think they've been the same. I don't think the same player's been Blink Twin each time, but I believe this is the third time we've seen Blink Twin match. Or?
They're hard to tell apart.
Yeah, it's
But
been.
I know you're right that we've seen
Yeah.
at least a few times.
All right.
I think besides gallery, this has been the most spy-sided map though for sure. And I think there's been more microfilm opportunities on this map if they continue to do it.
Uh-oh.
So
Yeah, I don't know. Will Watermeat
especially with the
Will
microfilm
Watermeat go
cheese.
for microfilm again? We'll find out in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
My odds are that he doesn't. He's like, I've had enough. I'm just gonna fingerprint, play it slow. I don't want
I'm
to get
sick
caught
of.
for microfilm.
I'd rather he purloin and just say, "I'm sick of reading. I'm just gonna drink." We go for oh, but we weren't on a conversation bug. We had started a walking bug instead. And it looks like maybe we're just out of range for a conversation bug. I think we should be
We're
close enough.
just out of range.
Oh,
Just out of range, I think. I think we could have done one of those KCM Twitch bugs that he likes to do. I think that would have worked because we would have put us closer in range. We wouldn't have done
Banana
the
bread.
lean animation. So I would have preferred to see that.
this would be big if we get a reject here. Oh, we are going to take the drink, but it is going to be a DA, so he's probably not going to be paying attention to it. And then we ditch out to books. Oh, and we grab it. Oh, I love this. I love this. This is old school veranda. I love it because the Portalfreek has been moving his laser enough that we actually were able to get into a bit of a blind spot. This actually brings me back warm fuzzy memories where oh, I love it. Okay, if we get a all right. Sorry, Are we gonna take a shot at something? I really want to see mission wins.
What was that? What was that?
All right, that game was really short, so we can probably go back and watch a lot of it. So what is Duke doing?
Yeah,
That we
I
didn't
don't
take
know
a shot
why.
that early.
I don't understand this shot.
I think it was a miss.
No,
Did
he
he
was like,
miss?
cause you can see.
Like the bug
It's
is
just,
so
I think it's
obvious.
no. I mean, it was just
Oh, I don't
the
know.
brief. It was the briefcase. Duke sort of stops for a little bit, which looks a little awkward, but it's just how a briefcase works sometimes.
Yeah, but it really looks like he's trying to line this up. Like this bug is so obvious,
No,
and then
because
he
like you
just
can
like
see he's following Duke as he ducks. He's aiming. He's aiming for Duke the whole time.
It does look like he's aiming for. It's funny that for a second there he could have missed shot onto the spy, which would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
But I think you're right that he is trying to shoot Duke. So I think that the banana bread and purloin just put um, uh, a situation where he
Yep.
felt like he really had to shoot.
Yeah. Well, so you can see what's happening is Duke walks in here, and the ambassador, when he gets sort of in range of the ambassador, the ambassador is moving, so he stops and waits. Then he starts moving again, and then suddenly the ambassador's at books, but he can't get to there, and he just sort of he moves a little bit afterwards, which looks a little weird. Like
Now
I think
this
I
is
think
a
it's because he couldn't put it down where he was, so he had to
right,
move. But
and this is going to be mentally devastating. I think, at least competitively, I would be mentally devastated a
yeah,
little bit at this point because it's not just a wrong shot, but the spy was almost done with missions.
yeah,
So sometimes if you take a wrong shot and you're like, but like you can sort of console yourself with, oh, and this, it's a little bit of a double sword in this one. But they weren't doing anything, and I took a shot. Like, you feel foolish for taking a wrong shot no matter what. But also, you took a wrong shot,
yeah. He had
and
4 missions
Watermeat,
done,
right? Watermeat was
and
making such progress.
yeah, 3 hard tells. One of them, like actually 2 of them were pretty much in his face.
Right. Yes, and totally great aggressive game by Watermeat. I love seeing it on Veranda. Totally took advantage of the fact that Laser had swung over, grabbed that book, and cheesed it over. Fantastic. I
Yep.
loved the spy game a lot.
Yep. All right. Anyway. Yep. So nobody understands briefcase still. So that's so I would just say you generally don't want to shoot for briefcase stuff like that because it's just gonna there's so many weird exceptions to everything that AI does with the briefcase that you might as well just wait for them to do something uh, that actually completes a mission. Anyway, on to the next one. We'll see if Portalfreek can recover from that unfortunate shot. I mean, even if he didn't shoot, I feel like Watermeat, would have had to have done something pretty impressive to lose that one.
Yeah, I'm guessing with that much time left, we were just flirting, and
Yep.
that was it.
All right.
yeah.
Anyway, yep. What's up? All right.
I
Anyway,
was
we're
just
gonna
saying
start
that
the next one, and you can say what you want after we start this in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
I was just saying that Watermeat went crazy there with missions. Just was like decided that he's had enough of these sniper shots. Just microfilm, purloin, bug, just all in quick succession. Just go crazy, and it worked this time. So maybe Portalfreek catching on a little bit of that, going for that early bug, looked really clean.
Yeah, so even though the pathing in the Time of Chaos was a little bit awkward around Ambassador, it doesn't look like we pick up any bit of a weird circly path for this. I'm not sure if that highlight was for that odd path, but probably just a highlight for inspects. But a little bit of an odd walk into the pad. We do have the bug done. Let's see. How many highlights do we have in this game? How bad is this for us? Not terrible. I'm hoping that he doesn't actually do anything for a little bit so that a few more highlights collect. So one thing that I want to impress on like new players is if you get an early highlight, it's not the end of the world, but you might want to wait until other highlights are starting to collect. Like especially if you just got a highlight for something like inspect, you can reliably anticipate other highlights appearing through the course of the game because of inspect. You might want to just do some non-suspicious things like go and flirt and whatnot, which is what he's doing.
Right. I don't mind this decision at all, though, especially since inspect swap is one of my favorite strategies. If you get highlight early on, you might as well complete your inspects and grab your swap while you're at it, since you're getting highlight for a
Banana
statue
bread.
visit anyways. So maybe we'll see contact inspect seduce swap to finish here. I wouldn't mind seeing that game plan, but goes for the purloin
Ooh,
here
nice. So
instead.
we use a white to so this I love this. This is we've already seen fantastic spy play off this map. So although we do stick around in the conversation, which is a little suspect to me. But on this map, it takes a little bit of time to collect the lowlights from the banana bread because you actually have to look around the map. There's the spread on this map, the horizontal spread on this map of suspects means it takes a while for you to get all the lowlights, and then he purloins during that spot. Fantastic.
And he goes to the statue looking for the fingerprint first because he wanted that instead of the inspect and the swap. Just going crazy.
So if we go for this flirt right now, which is what I'm insisting. Oh wait, we're not gonna just. I would really like to put the swap into the countdown. I kind of wish we went for the flirt there, and then if we couldn't get the flirt, maybe try to find a fingerprint on the map.
A little too crazy there, in my opinion. I would like to just see seduce fingerprint at win, but oh, now this path.
Oh, bummer! And we're gonna get shot for that, and I don't think the swap was even seen.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts a lot.
Yeah,
That
I
was a
don't know
great game.
why go to the window there and just sort of waste time. I don't.
Well, there's two sets of decisions. I think Yeesh is right that we didn't need to swap there. We still had
Yeah,
fingerprint
well, you
and
yeah.
seduce
I mean,
on
the
the
swap
table.
was already sort of questionable, but it seemed like it would have. Seems like it could have worked, but
Yeah.
like it's one of those things where it's an unexpected mission to have happening at that sort of particular time, and it could
I will
throw.
say they're getting hardtails done,
Yep.
which is making me happy. Like even though I think there was one extra hardtail than necessary on
Yeah.
that map, they are not playing cautious anymore where they're being afraid to do anything. That was a bug swap purloin all in the same match. So I mean I think that there was one too many, but
Yep.
hey, that was a great move with the fake contact and purloin. And so that's actually another mission that we could have done is we could have seduced contact, fingerprint contact. Swap was a little greedy.
And now, just for other people, the normal thing to do when your spot's taken is you stop for a brief moment and then repath to somewhere else. And probably don't try and squeeze yourself into there. Yeah. That was a tight fit, and unfortunately, it got caught.
Yeah, sometimes it looks like there's space, but then the game's just like, yeah, no, there's no space.
Yeah.
And it's going to look really awkward.
All right. Anyway,
So
with that, Watermeat actually takes a decent lead here, up up two. It's 7-5 now. So
that's right. And remind me what the last two. Oh, I know that this map's gonna be courtyard, but what's the map after this?
it was
If
courtyard and library.
library, interesting. Okay. Uh,
Yeah,
looking forward
because
to it.
I believe Watermeat chose all the 5 of 8 maps.
That's
And
right. That's right.
yeah,
My guess is here that Watermeat will probably go back to playing slow. It's not that easy to just go crazy on courtyard,
that's for
unless it's
sure.
like you get a swap behind when the laser is just not looking at you. But we'll
Yep.
see what Watermeat decides to do.
Yep. We'll see how this goes in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
I agree with you that it's a little bit difficult to go crazy in Courtyard. Courtyard is almost built for that kind of paced play where it's like inspect, flirt, it's contact, flirt, maybe, and then you try to set up your hardtail. One of the things I really like about Courtyard is that it's almost all set up about what hardtail you're going to do, and you're constantly thinking about it. You're going to get this is probably the most contact-friendly map in the game, except maybe Balcony. Um, and then getting your flirts usually not a big deal, and then getting your inspects it only takes one trip. And then it's all about what is the one hardtail that I really want to do, or if you can get fingerprints. And that answer is bug.
I actually don't mind that there. That was a pretty buggable position. The laser looked good from Watermeat's perspective, at least. So I don't mind that at all.
Interesting.
Print
So I would love a silent game on Courtyard. That would be really interesting to me, because again, like it's almost hardwired into people not to shoot before banana bread on Courtyard.
took a very weird path around the conversation there. Hopefully
Yeah.
we don't die for our second print here, but it looks like we're on good pace here. I think maybe no BB might surprise the sniper here. Now the ambassador's taking a drink, we can snag one of those. That would be really good.
I don't think we're paying attention to it because I think we're really focused in on our seduction target being a punk. This is all because, so this is funny. So this is the fallout of the decision earlier to take that kind of odd path because we could have taken a more straightforward path directly into our seduction target, gotten that flirt, and then seduction target would have gone to a window and our timer would be done now and we'd have whatever percentage done.
Yeah, this has been a series of unfortunate events for Watermeat. Now he's in a really tough spot where Flirt's almost off the table. He did not see the fingerprint from the drink, so now that's off the table. Looks, I'm worried he might just like even purloin here because he's so far behind.
And you are
Yeah,
correct.
yeah, this is just desperation here, sadly. And yeah, that's tough. Yeah, I mean, the DA bailed, your ST bailed. Just like nothing's going right, and you feel like I need a hardtail here, otherwise I'm gonna lose. So I understand I understand why he did what he did.
Yeah. I do think that
Yeah, he needed to
one
get that flirt.
considerable
He had the chance.
Yeah, but also when seduction target bailed on us at Windows, you should add time, or at least that you should consider that because I don't think we've seen a single timeout this match, correct?
Yeah.
And time has been a really big issue for both of these spies. We can't forget that. Yeah, sometimes it is tough to finish as spy on a lot of these maps. I personally think there should be like 10 seconds in every map, but there is a way to add time. Just go to the windows, check your watch, get some more time there. It would be hugely beneficial to both of these players in the games we've seen.
All right. Anyway, Portalfreek brings it back to within one. The spy win here will tie it up again. We'll see if he can do that in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
So we are at 6-7, correct?
Yep,
That's
this
right.
is a really big match, really big deal here. We're in a good spot though. Good BB opportunity coming up. The conversations look full from Puerto Freak's perspective. So maybe we go for that here. And I like not going to the statues early. We've been doing that quite often. Getting highlight early makes the hard tell difficult. So I like delaying this a little bit.
We got the Braille banana bread. A couple people ditch, unfortunately. We're gonna get a few more low lights than we normally would. Although we do get Bling Twin for a possible split, and we don't get the low light on Tex, which I think was a hard low light. So not actually as many. Oh, okay, never mind. We reconsider that low light, and now we are highlight. I'm trying to figure out what all those lights. Oh, purloin. Sorry, I'm an idiot.
Now, is Portal Freak think he got away with that? If he doesn't, I think he just goes to the statues immediately and tries to win. But I would like to see him wait. I think he might know he's been highlight. Greening and then staying there is a very interesting decision. So I'm curious what he wants to do with this. If he's just trying to get somebody else shot.
I think that path in by Bling Twin was a really actually AI path. I would like to see Watermeat actually low light for that. It would be a big low light because right now, although we might the other one. Okay, so we're not shooting Bling, which is a big moment because if Twin if Plain Twin goes to statues at some point, it very likely will get him shot. But the first highlight that goes to statues is not shot, and that's big. Oh, and gets low lit. Oh, but now brought up to neutral light.
I wonder what that was for. Very interesting. Maybe did he one cycle those statues? I have to go back and check.
Well, the statue was getting picked up by, I think it was Papa Danger, but I think there was enough time that he would have been able to get the left statue and then get the statue he was holding, and then goes back to statues. This is interesting. So, okay, from Watermeat's perspective, if we buy the one cycle or that one of the specs was blocked, Bling Twin should be shot right now. But right now, the fact that we're not shooting Bling Twin, honestly, I don't know why he's not just going to highlight Bling Twin at this point. And we shoot the Bling Twin.
Okay.
Great patience.
I mean, I think it was just briefcase. Was that Plain Twin's second fingerprint potentially?
Interesting that we did actually two cycle that statue, but we got neutral it for doing that. So very interesting that an inspect this early would actually cause a neutral light from a highlight.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Oh, looks like the first fingerprint from Plain Twin.
Probably the first fingerprint, but at that point, after you miss out on the exactly on the purloin, you're not sure about anything at that point. You're really nervous, and you also know that the spy really doesn't want to visit statues, which is actually very true. Portalfreek was avoiding statues. I mean, Portalfreek was just sitting still the entire game, which I think was a fantastic play.
Yeah, so it looks like he didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Plain Twin basically didn't do much of anything. He spent the whole time in that conversation. But, along with Portalfreek, so, definitely you can't rule that out as not being the spy. But anyway, that was just good play by Portalfreek to show. Oh, so now we got it tied again. That's nice.
Yeah, this is the deciding map, library.
Yeah.
I think that was a huge call by Watermeat there, thinking that, well, this is one of my other suspects is not doing anything. This guy is actually trying to get missions done. So I think that Portalfreek would finish missions here. So knowing that just takes the shot. Maybe not the correct one, but I wonder if he'll be more cautious to shoot now in this library game if a frame happens.
Yeah, we'll and the shot by Watermeat is not. I would not say that was purely mistake. Like you're right, it was almost a gut instinct on whether or not they'd finish, and that is independent of anything that's actually happened in the game. Where sometimes you're gonna take that shot and you're gonna get them right.
Yep. All right. Anyway, the last map we got 2 more games. We'll see if actually I guess there are tiebreakers in this tournament, right? If
there are, so if they do tie here, then it'll be the one person will cut and the other will choose.
Yep.
So the cutter picks any format as long as it's not.
Yeah,
I forget the exact rules, but it can't be.
I think you can. The only thing you can't change is guest count, I believe. Maybe I don't know if you can change the time this season or not.
I hope that it's not that you can't change time, because then we get into the time is the one that really gets wacky. I mean, guests too. I mean,
yeah. Well, I believe last season I did a Courtyard 2 where it was a minimum number of guests and known one, and maximum time was So I understand.
Coin flip.
I'm the only one who did nonsense like that. Actually, I believe.
Well, Wodar did max guest balcony.
Yeah. Well, I mean, of course, Wodar would do that.
Yeah, I think if we had maybe some maximums and minimums set on that, it would be good. But
yeah,
we're
it's
not
fair.
worried about that right now. Let's hope that doesn't go to a tiebreak.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, if either of these players can win these, can sweep library, then they will have won their match. We'll see if Watermeat can do that in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, we've been going crazy these past few games, so I'm curious if he's going to take it slow again, or since this is the last match after all, if he's going to try to keep up the pace and go.
I have a question for both of you. So in this position, one of these players is going to have their back against the wall after this match. Would you rather be the spy or the sniper in the deciding match? or the deciding game.
Oh, sniper.
I
Almost certainly.
I would rather be the spy. I like spy more. I'd rather just I don't know the feeling of like trying to clutch out a spy win is more fun to me. But
Banana bread.
sniper definitely a little more favored. I like this position right now by Watermeat, looking
Ooh,
for this reverse bug that's about to come out.
you almost had a low light there.
Yeah, and also the wiggling of the laser back and forth between Queen and Pencil might indicate that Portalfreek is suspicious of a ST pairing.
Possibly. I don't really like that decision. Going for this bug instead of the reverse bug we had a potential to get earlier. Not a huge fan. But looks like we're going back to going crazy. Bug into inspects. I don't mind this decision though. Get this highlight now and then hang
We're
on
gonna
to
get
it
that
for a
statue.
while.
Nice. I will say I do like the decision to stand at the bust after the ambassador or after bugging the ambassador because there's not much more that's not something. Sorry, there's not much less suspicious than walking away from an ambassador in a corner of library that you didn't see what they were doing beforehand.
We're doing
And
really
the
good
only
on time here. We just need what flirt and then one mission. So what's the mission gonna be?
it's not
What would
going to
you
be
do
too
here
long.
if yeah, what would you do here in this if you were in this spot, Watermeat's position?
I would start getting flirt done just so I have more options because you're gonna want to have flirt done for sure. You know that out of the two missions, almost certainly with 2 minutes left, you want to get flirt done, and so you might as well get that out of the way, and then you leave yourself more options. It doesn't. I would say I would probably try to book, and then if book doesn't look like it works, purloin. But I would get my seduction done right now, which is exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, I would not mind actually seeing a play where we like just try to dump this book immediately. We know we're highlight for those inspects, and this conversation circle is really close to the green bookshelf, so maybe we can just dump it off really quick and go back to our original spot, just trying not to be noticed, or do a maybe just play it slow and try to like bail at like the last 10 seconds of the game. I
Yeah, it
don't know.
looks like we're going for a timer flirt. Ooh, ST leaves.
That hurts a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. We can still definitely get this flirt. We should get it now though, in case we white test. And I agree with this play. Get this flirt and then make a decision off after that. If we get a white,
Oh, are we
then
close enough? Okay, well, it
ooh,
doesn't matter because we get a white test. And we're at 17% left, so we're good with whatever flirt.
yeah, I like this decision though. Just getting ready to bail. I think right now we're just gonna put it in slow, just because we're not in a really good position to bail and leave immediately. Hopefully he doesn't remember. Oh,
We
the
yeah.
laser. Yeah, it looks like we're about to shoot somebody. So I don't think this is noticed. Maybe tunneling a little too hard on Twin here.
All right. Well, there might be a little bit of overtime. We're gonna go in here and we're gonna try to talk immediately, but there's gonna be. Oh wait, no. There's gonna be not any overtime. I think there's gonna be. Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be any overtime at all. I think it's exactly at 10 seconds.
Excellent timing there. That was a really
Wow.
nice game by
Yeah.
Watermeat.
Yeah, even though we were only one of two highlights, we were able to get that in. And importantly, we did microfilm. We won.
Yep.
We got microfilm done.
Yeah, and
It
I was
happens.
actually surprised because I mean, at that moment, Watermeat for a lot of this match was the only highlight. Just you know, apparently,
Yeah.
just a little fortunate slip from Portalfreek, maybe a little frazzled from maybe just this is just a map that Portalfreek's a little weak on
Well, it's
sniping
pretty
wise.
clean game. Like
Yeah,
after we missed the bug, and again, I like the decision to stand at the bust so that we see where they
yep.
were, because a lot of spies would try to bail out of there as quickly as they could.
I definitely
But
would
we
have
would have
bailed.
continued walking away. Yeah, I know. And so we at that point we had I want to say contact and bug done. And so at that point, all we did was finish our flirts. Then we inspected right after that. And that's where we picked up our highlight. So the main thing that Portalfreek missed was microfilm. And so Portalfreek not watching microfilm at that point was basically the only thing that got them the loss.
Yeah,
Then the fact that they missed the bug earlier on, but at post highlight, the only thing we missed was the microfilm.
Yeah, it seems like looking back at the replay that he suspected that Twin had done microfilm. So when you're about to take a shot for almost certainly seeing a hardtail, your mind's not thinking about, oh, Queen's at this bookshelf, maybe doing microfilm. Your
Yep.
mind's thinking about, is he done with 20 seconds left on the clock? So
Yep.
I can totally sympathize with Portalfreek there, not really
Yep.
catching the microfilm there.
Yeah, well, a lot goes on library. It's really hard to know if you've seen everything. There's just so many characters and can't see all of the map at once. All right. Anyway, this could be the final game of this set. Portalfreek
Yeah,
needs to win as spy in order to go to a tiebreaker.
very interested. And it's like that game was while Watermeat did win that game, it was very stressful. I mean, it went down
Yeah.
to the last second
Yeah,
before
literally.
overtime. So it's not one of those comfortable, like sometimes it's nice going to this where like if your opponent just makes a big misplay, just shoots the wrong person, or you had a great rush where you just felt like you were on top of everything. It was a very solid game, but not exactly a game that was stress free. And so that's definitely going to play into this game as well, where we're going to be sniping the sniper, and we have a chance to steal it away right now.
All right, and we'll see how this goes. 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I like this. The watch check at the start of the game, but no time ad. If that's noticed, I'm definitely lowering my suspicion of Portalfreek there. Looks like we're just going with AI control at the very start too. Wow, how
Yeah,
long
I'm
is he gonna keep this up?
I was just about to say it seems like when there's the last game, there's extremes that spies tend to go into. They either just like kind of like turn off their brain and just go, I'm going to rush because I'm just going to do that, or they play extremely cautiously because they really don't want to get shot. Now this might just be a game where Portalfreak, I'm hoping, is paying attention to the people that are getting highlight and just go all in a frame, or all in on just general suspicion gathering where we pick up like a banana bread. Not the best banana bread right now if we try to go for it, so I don't think we're going to take over control. We might have actually stepped away from the computer for a second there, because we weren't moving the camera at all as Portalfreak. Now, this would not be a bad time for you to take over control and do the banana bread. If we don't do it around now, and Double Agent leaves, we might just be committed to a, you
No
know,
control. Yeah.
yeah.
The problem I've seen with beginners is that when they do this, they want to BB and purloin at like 10 seconds left, which is I think is the biggest mistake. If you purloin, I think that if you do it earlier, the pressure's on the sniper to shoot more often if the purloin's gone much earlier in the game. So I
Yep.
wonder, even if Portalfreak takes control, does hardtails, if there'll even be a shot here.
All right, here we
Oh, we
go, and
do.
here's the BB. Um,
Banana bread.
eh, mediocre time for at least for lowlights, but there's importantly a lot of highlights aren't eliminated, so that's good. And I think you're absolutely right that if they waited until too long, part of the thing you want to do is you do the banana bread, maybe do the purloin, and you let those highlights marinate post two missions being done, and then you go and see if they do something else suspicious. Like you just hope that one of those highlights that possibly could have done the purloin or was in conversation during the BB goes and does something like visits middle statue or something.
All right, now we really are committed. We're gonna have to time ad if we even want a chance at completing missions.
Another banana,
Banana
bread.
bread.
Now this is interesting. Uh, this is pushing the outcomes of this game out a little bit, where we are really hoping that there's just a few suspects that we really want to shoot.
Yeah, I'd like to see a purloin now. Like now's your chance. Waiter's offering a drink. Will we see a purloin? I would really like to see it here. Do we do it?
No, we
Oh,
don't.
just a drink take. I don't know. I feel like you need to show something here.
I agree, and that would have been a great opportunity because General was at statues on the far side, and General was really suspicious for something like an inspect swap block. I mean, maybe we didn't obviously know that, but if we're not showing any missions done, up, it works.
Wow, that's
It just works.
crazy that that actually worked. I guess once again, it's like the same call that we made last game, right? The courtyard game. I think he's finishing missions. He's being active. He's going to finish missions this time. So just takes the shot. Maybe more of a gut instinct there too. Let's see what Oprah did.
I mean, well, she was putting a book away, so and must have been a suspected transfer. Was she in conversation for both EBs? Let's
She had a
find out.
reel the second time, which is important because
Yeah.
usually the second one, at least for me, I would consider the second BB if there are multiple. The last one is usually the most accurate
Yep.
because the
Let's see.
spy's gonna take the first time to
Red.
get something done, and then the second time, hey, I'm actually trying to get mission completion.
Yeah, and she was in a conversation for the first one as well. No DAs in that one, but talking and was already highlighted at this point.
Does she ever visit statues though?
Very start of
These-
the game, she got
Yeah, she must have.
no middle statues,
Okay.
so that is
Okay.
mission completion. So
Yeah, potentially. I mean, no hardtails shown, but you can, you can win without doing that on library if you're careful. All right, and with
Yeah.
that, we're tied up 8-8, right? So that means we got a tiebreaker going on here.
Very interesting.
yeah,
So, I mean,
So, it's balcony, any 2 of 3. 2 minutes. I guess that's normal balcony.
interesting.
just
So,
leaving it
who
into the
cuts
hands
and
of
who chooses?
balcony.
Like, who's the automatic? Who's the cutter? In this, is it a coin flip? Is it
Um,
The
I
higher, I thought the higher seed was
yeah, I think the higher seed. I don't. Yeah, I don't have the information here. They did not include that.
thought
Okay,
the
so it looks
higher
like
seed
so
cut, and
Portal
then the
picked the map and Meat chose the snipe.
okay.
Is
Not sure. I think the the lower seed gets to pick the map, and the higher seed gets to choose if they want to spy or snipe. I
yeah,
think that's what it is, but I'm
I
not
don't know.
certain.
higher seed chooses who the picker. Oh, they get to choose who is each role apparently. So
wow.
The higher seed gets to actually make the decision on who's the cutter and who the choose or who's the picker, who's the cutter. Cutter chooser is the way we should
Yep.
do it. Yeah, interesting. So it'll actually change where there's just a because it's arguable about which one is the advantage, and that one should be kind of minimal because of the way that the cutter chooser thing works to minimize the difference between the two of them. But so it's always an advantage for the higher seed where they get to at least a perceived advantage because they should be able to choose the one they think an advantage should exist in.
Yep.
Interesting.
All right.
That's
Anyway,
good
so this will
information.
be the last match of the set either way. We'll find out if who made the correct choice here. I mean, it was all sniper wins on this map, so it's kind of interesting to pick this map.
So if you guys were given balcony as the map, what role would you choose?
I'd probably choose spy.
Sniper.
I'd probably choose spy, honestly, but I think I would choose spy. But
I don't
again,
know. There's so many games that just
given
come
the
down to AI.
yeah, in this set, I would have chosen sniper because, sniper won every balcony match in the set so far. So
And you see how this mindset changed at the start. They were all about completing missions, getting missions done, playing the standard balcony game. And now Portalfreek is in the
it's worth
situation
the
where
chat pointed out that Portalfreek accidentally chose fingerprint instead of bug.
oh wow,
It was not
it was
intentional,
an
but
accident.
yes.
Wow, that's huge. But I think Portalfreek will even idle this game too. The last two spy games he's won, he's just been idling. He has not done missions at all. So
Yeah.
I think he
Although I
might go
would
back to that
recommend on
mindset.
balcony, if you're gonna idle, you should take control right away because you don't want because AI
Do stupid
can
stuff
be
for you.
suspicious. Yeah, I mean, like just talking is suspicious on balcony. So, like if you're gonna do a idle, you don't want to you want to just try to avoid talking at all costs.
That and not taking control means that let's say everybody's in conversation at one time, the sniper is going to intuitively expect a banana bread and nothing happens. Sniper's like, "What? Why? Why is there no banana bread right now? It's the perfect opportunity."
Yep. All right, this may be extra tough. Having bug as like a quick backup mission is always nice. So We'll see if that costs them this match in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Also, importantly, if it was by accident, Portalfreek's probably not going to be looking for fingerprints and going to be expecting the ability to bug. I'm really curious if Portalfreek notices during this game that fingerprint is off, because a lot of the time it's not gonna become apparent until you want to be able to bug.
Interesting that we don't get highlight for that talk, even though everybody else got highlight for talking early. Maybe just being one of the later talkers saved us there.
Oh, the other thing is, I wonder if Sniper noticed the fingerprint. Like right now, we could be playing a game where both players are under the impression that that bug is on. The only thing we know basically is
Well,
that
according to the chat, Meat did notice that that bug was that fingerprint was on.
Interesting.
But he didn't know it was a mistake.
Gotcha. Yeah, and because that definitely could be a mind game thing to throw in at the end there, right? Is turning fingerprint on after bug. It had been standard balcony in the 4 games before, trying to slip it by him.
Wow, and that was huge. We sipped into a BB, not low lit for that though, but I really like the play from Portalfreek. It actually works out because he gets a green test, not a white test this time, so it doesn't look as terrible as it did the first game.
Oh, but seduction target's gonna be going for briefcase. This is gonna be really tough for us to finish. Now that said, there are 3 highlights near the end of the game. It's gonna be hard for Watermeat not to shoot someone.
But the last 2 games that Portalfreek has won, he's won by just letting an AI do something else for him. I think, will Watermeat show restraint? That's the real question here.
Ignoring Toby.
Okay, well I don't think we're gonna shoot before time. Oh wait, no, but everybody goes to Windows. Nope, it's not happening.
Wow.
Yeah, he had a shot lined up, but it was waiting for overtime.
That was amazing. That was really good restraint there to not
Yeah.
Do that, because especially since it's tough there. There's a lot of highlights of talking, going to the window. That
Yeah,
was a
but
pretty active balcony game. But just knowing that Portalfreek is going for a timeout just makes the read that Portalfreek's not going to do that and just clutches out the win there. Really
Oh
nice.
yeah, okay. So Portalfreek in chat is saying that he was trying to bug when Amber was next to him.
Yep, and that must have been heartbreaking, because I think that when we had the 20% flirt, we could have tried to rush the flirt, but I think we're like, okay, actually, I'm just gonna do nothing, and then I'm gonna go for a Hail Mary bug if everything goes wrong and no one gets shot, right? And we don't have bug on there. That is so
That
unfortunate.
hurts.
Yeah.
Anyway, with that, Watermeat pulls off the win. So they will move on to week 2, which is currently in progress. Here, let me see if I can see who his opponent is for this week. I don't know if the match has happened yet or not.
Well, just
okay,
in
yep.
general,
So their match for this, they're being matched up against Shep for this week, who is who's actually a number 3 seed. So that's gonna be a tough match.
So that's Watermeat moving on.
Yeah, Watermeat moves on, and he's playing Shep this week.
Interesting. Well, both this match, just in general, very evenly. I mean, obviously, it feels pretty even, the fact that we go to tiebreakers.
Yeah.
But just in general, it was mostly sniper dominance early on, and they were able to get a couple of spy wins in there later on in the match. One huge restraint on Portalfreek's side to try to force a shot, because from Watermeat's perspective, sniper had just been going so well that we were able to get a wrong shot. And then just a couple of aggro games were able to get missions by. But very evenly paced, very evenly matched. I'd say not a lot of mistakes on either side, like huge mistakes. I think time management was the only thing that we could really consistently point out as being a problem for either player. But really, just solid SpyParty. Really unfortunate that the in the last game, fingerprint was on and not bug, because I think that bug would have worked out fantastically for him, because during the time he would have bugged, Watermeat was going to be really focused in on everybody else, right? There's like he was very fortunate in a way for being one of the few non-highlights. and 3 other highlights were all doing stuff at the same time, I think you would have gotten away with it. So that's just a bummer.
Yeah, I think the main things to highlight as Spy, maybe mostly just like some decision making. There's a few times where the Spy got into just a tough spot and maybe just like made some questionable decisions. But besides that, I mean, it's like the snipers played really well. The spies were playing really well, especially towards the end. Portalfreek with knowing that Watermeat was susceptible to shoot and just being comfortable with not finishing missions. That can be really tough sometimes as a spy, knowing that you're locking yourself out of a win.
Yeah, and even with the miss on choosing fingerprint instead of bug, that was really close to Watermeat shooting. I feel great restraint on their part. So even though there was just a pretty simple mistake that was committed early on, honestly, it played out pretty strongly still. Like it still resulted in a strong sniper play.
All right. Anyway, we're ready to move on to our second and final match of the day.